So I wanted to do a thing on a video on gratitudes and the practice that I started doing a little over a year ago. And actually, it's kind of a funny story. Back a little over a year ago, 14 months ago, I was really struggling and was having a lot of mental health issues and didn't want to do anything and was just feeling really hopeless. Um, and I kind of realized now that it was in the environment that I was in. Again, I've talked about this. The more I think about it, the more I realize that if you're really struggling with mental health stuff, really take stock of what's around you, the people you've surrounded yourself with, because a lot of times it's your body telling you that you're in a bad situation and that you need to get out. Like, I'm not advocating like cutting people off per se, although sometimes that is what you have to do. Um, the more I've learned and the more I've experienced, and like I've said, I've gone through this process about 4 times now, and I've finally kind of come to the conclusion that it really is the people you surround yourself with that are usually the problem and that are bringing you down. Um, and that there's something that is out of alignment for you, and sometimes it's your habits, sometimes it's the activities that you're participating in, and sometimes it really is your friend group or your work environment or whatever. And if you can find a way to extricate yourself from those things, I would advocate it, with the caveat of don't do anything stupid, but if that makes sense. um or at least take a break and tell people that you need a break. But really, like, seriously think about that. But that being said, I started this journey of, I think really the idea was like manifestation, which I'm still not entirely sold on, but either way. Um, so I started that, and it was supposed to be like this 40 day challenge, no, 21 day, I don't know, how habit, they say, even though it's not true, that you build a habit in 21 days. So I think it was a 21-day challenge, and you were supposed to write 40 gratitudes, and then you were supposed to write like 5 kind of long-ish dreams that you had. um and it was very complicated, and it took up a lot of time to do that, and I would not recommend doing it again. But it was interesting. But in the middle of that, I stumbled across a group online that was starting up of gratitude. Like, you met together online to do gratitudes, and then you would say, each person in the group would say 10 things that they were grateful for, and then they would say 10, and then you'd go around again and say 10 affirmations. So, like, I am statements, I am strong. The one I always like is I am strong, I am brave, I believe in myself. But stuff like that. Um, and kind of learning as time went on that, you could talk about specific things that you hoped to kind of embody that particular day if something was coming up for you. So that was kind of cool, like kind of setting an intention. And then the last piece to the exercise was to say one thing that you were going to do, kind of one act of self-care. And that was really neat because I think for me, I thought a lot about this, and I almost feel like that last piece was kind of a core component for me, because for some reason I had lost a lot of self-confidence. And I'm still not entirely sure where that happened, um, for me, because I don't know. I still have a hard time kind of pinpointing why that happened or where it came from. Um, I mean, goes back to my childhood, but I feel like I had been doing okay, but for some reason I had fallen off and I had just lost a lot of self confidence. And I maybe need to do some work on pinpointing where that came from. But the habit stacking, or the habits, were just, I think for me, a good way of acknowledging to myself that I could keep a promise to myself, without without external validation. I think that was really important too. Where I would say, I'm gonna do yoga today. I'm gonna go to the beach today. I'm gonna go on a walk and look for all the yellow flowers. And then going and doing those things, as kind of silly or mundane as maybe those sound, but actually saying you were going to do something and then keeping that promise, I think really helped me gain just like self-confidence, I would say. And a lot of good things came out of those calls, and I'm extremely grateful for them. And I've actually continued them with periodically with some friends who try to do it a few times a week, some friends that I made from the group. But I would really advocate doing some kind of practice like that for yourself. And again, if you want a copy of the sheet that I came up with for myself I usually just handwrite it in my own journal, but if you want a sheet, I did come up with a sheet. So if you want it, message me and let me know. Okay, have a good day.